Okay, let's say that you've set up your Microsoft 365 account. In this case, I've done it with a trial. I want to go through my initial configuration or my initial setup. So there's a couple of things I want to do when I do this. I want this to be able to handle email for my domain. So I need to create users. I need to give it the right domain information. Microsoft has this nice little guided setup tool to do it. So we're going to find this by coming to our admin panel. And in our admin panel, once it loads here, we're going to find this, finish setting up a Microsoft 365 Business Standard account. So I'm going to click on go to the guided setup, and this is very convenient because it basically walks you through it. So if I have an existing domain, I'm going to do this, add a custom domain that you already own. Let's say, and I don't actually own this, so I'm going to fake this. Dalton.us. Okay. Or I can use my default Microsoft 365 one. Make that go away. A little information here, how to add a domain. I'm happy with this domain, so I'm going to click use this domain. Now, it's going to go out and look and try to find that. And in this case, it can't, right? Because I don't have the correct information. So I'm going to tell it to use this one at the moment. Say use this domain. And once it verifies the domain name, then it's going to ask, or it's going to give me the option to add users. Let me back up one, get to my add users. And here's where I add all my different users. And this is a quick and easy way to do it. We're going to talk about ways to do it later on when we're actually managing the domain. But if there's a handful of ones that I want to do initially, I can do this here, or I can click on do this later. And then my last step is going to be to connect to my domain. Now at this point, I need to make sure that I have DNS records in place for my domain name. And if I'm using this default one, notice it's set up to have DNS records managed by Microsoft, and we're already set. If it's not, so if it's Dalton.us, which doesn't exist, then I'd have to make sure that here that I connected or gave it the right domain controller information so that we could connect this domain to, I said domain controller information, DNS information. There we go. Get the right data there. Because I need to connect that domain to Microsoft. And so I've got to manage that here. So ideally, if you are doing this, you're not wanting to use an on Microsoft.com domain, you would go out, you would purchase your domain name, you would set it up here in the add domain and add your users, and then here's where you would connect that domain information to Microsoft. Now, obviously I don't have that, so I am not going to, well, let me go ahead and continue one more. And then we have our connection options, and setup is now complete. Okay. So that's basically all you're going to do. Now, that really does one thing that's really needed, and that is setting up your domain information with Microsoft 365 for it to handle email for your personal domain. The other stuff, in fact, even that can be done later. But the adding users, managing users, you're going to be doing that the entire time you have your Microsoft 365 account. So this just gives you a quick and easy way to go ahead and do your initial domain setup. So now that I've got that in place, my next step is going to be to manage users. Now remember, I could create a handful of users here, but I'm going to be dealing with users off and on through probably the rest of the time that I have my Microsoft 365. Anytime somebody comes in, leaves, needs to be changed. So in our next video, we're going to look at some ways of managing users in Microsoft 365.